Hi, this is MasterHun. This is another episode of Coding Class with MasterHun. This is episode 17, season 0, and this episode 17 will be essentially integrating the previous episode, episode 16, where I talked about functions, methods, and modules. And in this episode, we're going to actually see how we use those coding concepts in an application where we're going to do today I'm going to cover an intro to turtle graphics. So in order to do turtle graphics, you have to understand functions, methods, and modules, classes and objects, and libraries. Otherwise, it really won't make any sense. So, okay, so to begin, before that, I just want to just give credit where credit is due, and just want to say that if you look over here, if you follow my mouse, my pointer, you can see that this is the HTML, the web development coding editor component of SoloLearn's code playground. But I primarily in this coding class. Although in the future I do plan on teaching teaching HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So it might be a little confusing. So last episode, all the previous episodes was about Python and coding in Python. So it's a little kludgy, but just to give credit is deserved. I don't know exactly, but if you look here, I've highlighted it. This web page, the HTML page that I'm using, was originally created by user World, and what it is, it's he or she, I don't know. World has created in SoloLearn a web page that allows although the user World is not the creator, the main technology or the framework that's being used or library. The user World created this HTML page, which I'm taking advantage of and reusing. There was some previous some kind of Python code in what's called the text area. You see this text area, what is called a text area. So essentially what's happening is that by using the power of sculpt, if you follow my pointer, sculpt, it's what it allows you to do is to insert Python code inside an HTML essentially a web page, and to run the code from the web page. So I believe I think I got this correct. I believe what's happening is that the Python is being converted into JavaScript through a library or is it a framework? I'm not too sure. A library I believe called Sculpt, and it allows you to insert Python code and run it in the web page. Run it in the web page, and then it gets translated to JavaScript, and then it actually runs in your web browser. If I got that correct, I could be wrong. I think I got that correct. And so, because SoloLearn doesn't have the ability for you can run Python code, but anything that's graphical is not. You're not able. Essentially, you're not. If I go into the Python code editor of SoloLearn and I try to import Turtle, which is the built-in graphics module that comes with the standard library in Python, you get an error message. It just doesn't run. So in order to make this work on SoloLearn, and also to make something that is possible for myself and for my students to share online with their parents, friends, family, the whole 9 yards. Okay. So basically, so coming back to the previous episode 16. So if we look at line, if you follow along with me, if you follow my pointer, well, I highlighted line 17. And in line 17, we're having, if you remember, if you haven't had a chance, please watch the previous episode, episode 16 of season 0, episode 16, coding class with MasterHun. And that episode was titled Functions, Methods, Modules. So if we look at line 17 here, we can see that I'm using the import keyword. I'm importing the turtle module into my Python code. Otherwise, I won't be able to output anything. And if you look on the right side here, right, we have the output, okay? We have the output. Okay, so we import. First, we have to, number one, we have to import the module. Now, the second thing, after we import the module, we have to create a turtle, okay? And that's how you draw. You could draw with turtles, okay? Which, if you look on the right side here, it's really just a pointer, but imagine that it's a turtle, okay? So in line 21, we're creating a variable called lee, L-E-E, lee. And what we're going to do is, it's actually what it's doing is pointing to a turtle. So we have to use the name of the module, and then we have this dot notation. We're using this dot notation, right? And then we need to call the turtle constructor, because there's a turtle class. So in order to create a turtle object, we need to use the turtle class, specifically the turtle constructor. The name of the class is turtle. The constructor is turtle, is also called turtle, and with parentheses. And so we have lee. So if we look on the right side here, this thing, it's a representation of a turtle object, and it has the name of lee. In the code, it does, not in the output. In the output, you don't know, it doesn't have any name whatsoever. Okay, so we can start off by simply telling the turtle to move forward 100 pixels. Okay, so it moves 100 pixels. Then we're telling it, if we look at line 25, we're telling it to turn left. Okay, from its point of view, it's turning left. So from our point of view, it's gonna move forward 100 pixels, turn left, and then it's gonna actually point up. And then we're gonna tell it to line 26. We're telling it to move forward 100 pixels and then turn left, and do that the same two actions 2 more times. And then what we get is actually a square. Okay, because it's moving exactly in one direction. For 100 pixels. Okay, and if I run this code again, you'll see on the right side that it's going to draw a square. If I can get this, okay. Here we go, and you see, we're saying that it draws a square. Okay. Now I'm going to delete this. No, I'm sorry. Oops. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Okay, I'm sorry. This is the code we have that was run, actually line 72 to 79. That's the code that was run, Python code that was run, and then we had the output on the right side. So I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to copy. Please bear with me. I'm going to copy. I'm going to copy a for loop that does the same thing. It does exactly the same thing. Okay, it's a square, right? You can see the comment here, square. It's a square, and what it's a for loop. And basically, I've condensed. Instead of writing lee.forward 100, lee.left 90 degrees. So instead of typing that out 4 times, I just put that in a for loop. So 4x in range 4. Okay, line 73. 4x in range 4, which means it's going to loop 4 times. So it's going to move forward 100 pixels, turn left 90 degrees 4 times, and basically it's going to do the square, right? So the turtle is a great way to visually teach coding or programming, so that actually you can see a result. You can actually see something happening visually. Okay, so I'm going to run this. Okay, so I'm going to run this for loop code lines 73 to 56. Line 73 to 75. So there's 3 lines of code I'm going to run, and then you'll see the same output. It does the same exact thing. Nothing surprising. Okay, it does exactly the same thing. There we go. It drew a square. Whoa, not very impressive, right? Not very impressive right now. Okay, so okay, we did that. We did the square. Oh, okay, now let's go, let's do a rectangle, right? How do we make a rectangle, right? How do we make a rectangle? Okay, so if we make a rectangle, actually, we only need to loop, we need to loop only twice. So we're going to have it, we got another for loop, but it's only going to loop, if we look at line 73, right? We see it's only going to loop twice, okay? So the block of code is lines 74 to 77, and basically it's going to, okay, it's going to, from our point of view, it's going to move forward to the right 100 pixels. It's going to go up, turn left 90 degrees, go up 50 pixels, and then turn left 90 degrees. And then it needs to do, and then in the second loop, the first loop is going to do that, and the second loop is going to do the, essentially it's drawing the bottom and the right side, and then when it loops again, it's going to draw the top and then the left side. Okay, so I'm going to run the code, and then you'll see that, okay, there we go. Okay, so that was 2 loops. Okay, and now we're going to go, let's, okay, now we're going to do a triangle. So as you may have guessed, we're going to loop only 3 times, okay? Because there's a, so this is a, I believe, what we call equilateral triangle. I think I got that right. I don't remember my geometry. So it's going to loop, it's going to loop 3 times. It's going to go 100, each side will be 100 pixels, and it will turn left 120 degrees. Okay, so if I run the code, it's going to you're going to see a triangle. Okay, there we go, a triangle. Oh, perfect triangle. Okay, we have the triangle. Get rid of that, and now let's go with. Okay, we did the square. We did the, okay. Let's go with the hexagon. Let's do a hexagon. Okay. So hexagon, and that's going to have 6 sides. Okay, so hexagon, we're going to do a hexagon. Okay, it's going to be, we're going to loop 6 times because we're going to have 6 sides, and instead of 100 pixels, we're going to only, each side will only have 50 pixels, and we're going to turn left each time. We're going to turn left only 60 degrees. Okay, and then let's do that, and there we go. We have a hexagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 6 sides. Okay, hexagon. Okay, we did the hexagon. Okay, well, you're learning how to code, and we're going to learn some of the shapes, geometry, right? Okay, now let's go with a pentagon. Okay. Okay, with the pentagon, we have 5 sides, and again, each side will only be 50 pixels, and every time we will turn left 72 degrees. Okay, let's run that code. And there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 sides. Okay, that was a pentagon. Okay, that was a pentagon. Okay, I think the last shape we're going to do, no, we're going to do, oh, we did the pentagon, right? We did the pentagon. Okay, the last shape we're going to do is we're going to do a star. Okay, we're going to do a star. That's the last one we're going to do. We're going to do a star. Okay, and not only are we going to do a star, but we're also going to do, it's going to be filled with colors. Okay, so what will happen is the sides will actually have, the sides will be this, when we draw the edge of the star, it will be in red. Okay, so we're using the color method. Okay, with the color method, we can take our turtle and make the turtle draw a line in red here, right? If you can see this, right? Red, And then inside, we're going to fill it with the color blue. Okay. And we have to use these begin_fill and end fill methods to get it to actually fill in the color. Okay. Now we're going to have, it's going to loop, this for loop will loop 5 times. Okay. It's going to move forward. It's the length of each line will be 200, and each angle will be 144. And basically it's going to bisect, the lines will bisect. Okay. Previously the lines didn't bisect, but this time it will. Okay. And let's see. Okay. And we have, I'm sorry, it's a little bit out of the, okay. Okay, there we see the line, the outline of the color of the star is in red, and then it filled in inside the star with the color blue. Okay, let me just run it one more time, and then we can. Okay, there we go, and then it filled up. Whoa, okay, right. With the not too many lines of code, we can create art with Python. Okay, not fancy art, very simple art. Okay, again, credit goes to user Coleworld on these on the SoloLearn coding platform. We want to give user Coleworld credit for creating this web page that I'm reusing, and we want to give credit to Sculpt for the people at Sculpt who've created this incredible technology that allows us to insert Python code inside HTML web page essentially, and to run code in Python code inside the web, and then which allows Python coders to easily share their code with other people online without having to create a lot of friction essentially. Okay, well, thank you for following along with me, and I look forward to teaching you again in the next episode. Thank you very much.